Hey guys, Ghibli here, bringing you how to draft a chicken deck in Hearthstone beta. So the idea around this is, you use the Angry Chicken, which is a 1/1 creature that when takes damage gets 5 extra attack. So completely trolley card. This is just a fun hand to use. Not the best hand that you could possibly do, but when you kill somebody with the chicken, it is the most satisfying thing ever. So open up your collection stuff and create a new priest deck or modify the one you've already had, up to you. So let's start off with the priest card. So you want to get 1 inner fire. You want to get 2 power ward shields to give your chicken more health. Now the inner fire is just in case he gets so much health and you get really lucky, you can inner fire it, and then on top of that he'll get enraged, so he'll just be like just a crazy chicken. Alright, let's move on. Now, since it's still a normal hand, you kind of want to treat it as a normal hand. You want to still have some cards that can give you card draw or deal with situations that an angry chicken won't be able to deal with early game. So definitely take 2 clerics for the card draw. You definitely want 2 divine spirits to buff the chicken even further, and 2 shadow ward pains to deal with early game minions. Now you also want 1 Shadow Ward Death to deal with high-end late-game minions. 1 Holy Nova to deal with clear. You can do 2 Holy Novas if you please, but I would probably recommend against it because you need a lot of cards to buff the chicken. You have to get rid of some stuff, but that's okay. I mean, if you want to get rid of some stuff for more AoE clear, do it. It's at the end of the day, it's your hand. Just the heart and the soul of it's the Angry Chicken, so keep that in mind. You want 1 Temple Enforcer. It's a good card that gives 3 health to the Angry Chicken. And 1 Mind Control. Now, I don't suggest going 2 Mind Controls after the patch, now that they're 10 mana. Still a good card, but having 2 of them I don't think is quite necessary. At least not for this hand. Now let's get into the neutral cards. So obviously, Angry Chicken. You want to get 2 of these if you have 2 of them. The heart and soul of our hand here. Now, we don't need anything on this page. We do, however, need an Acidic Swamp Ooze. Since it's still a normal hand, we need something to deal with weapons if it comes up. Like if a warrior summons a Gorehowl, you want to be able to deal with that, or know that there was a chance that you could deal with it. So go ahead and get 1 of the Swamp Oozes. Move on. Now, I usually take a Fairy Dragon. You could take any other 2 mana card of your pleasing, maybe the Knife Juggler, Swordsmith, even pint-sized summoner, whatever takes your pleasing. Go ahead and take that 2 mana card, or if you just don't want a 2 mana card, go ahead and do that as well, but I suggest it. And now you also need a 2 Shattered Sun Clerics, so this buffs the chicken even further. Not too many other 3 mana cards that you take here. If you want to remove some of the other cards, feel free to. If you want the raid leader to buff it even further, or if you want a questing adventurer, totally up to you. Now, one thing that is a really strong card, is the Chillwind Yeti. It's really good against priests. I try and take 1 in almost any hand that I have, just for the fact it's a 4/5 for 4 mana, and the priest can't deal with it. So I really recommend it. So not to mention, if you're not getting your Angry Chickens, you're getting really unlucky in draw, but you have a Yeti and you have some Divine Spirits and Inner Fire, that Yeti can become incredibly scary incredibly quickly. Also, you want a Dark Iron Dwarf. This will give 2 attack to any minion, so you can buff your chicken even further. Now, the good thing about having a chicken deck and why it still somewhat works is even if you don't use all this stuff on the chicken, you can use it on other minions to, use for situations. It's completely situational, so it works for anything, which is great, But on the other hand, you have 2 card slots of Angry Chickens, so, pick wisely. Alright, now you also want 1 Defender of Argus, so this will give adjacent minions +1 health, +1 attack, and gives them taunt. So this will not only make it so, your chicken has more health and attack, but forces them to attack it, which will activate his Enrage. So good card. However, you want to be careful because you don't want your chicken dying. This is why a priest is really good to do a chicken deck with, because you can heal the chicken if it starts getting a little too low. But keep in mind, if you heal it back up to full health, it'll lose its Enrage. Alright, what else do we need? Okay, definitely need some Senjin Shieldmaster. Need some taunts. Taunts are very important in a chicken deck because you kind of need to buy time and get card draw and get the cards in your hand to be able to do what you need to. So you definitely want to get 2 of those. You also need a Spellbreaker. You need a Silence in your hand, always. So go ahead and take 1 of those. Now, I love taking Faceless Manipulator. This is not necessary to take this card. But when you have 2 or 1 really buff chicken in your hand, and then you Faceless Manipulator, and you have 2 chickens in your hand, and on the board, I should say, sorry, that are very strong, it's pretty funny and very worthwhile. So I'm going to go ahead and take a Faceless Manipulator. Now, we also need maybe a little bit more taunt. So I would say go ahead and maybe take Sunwalker, since it's a really good taunt if you have it. But this is where the deck starts to give a little leeway. If you want to go for more damage and a little bit less security, you can get rid of some taunts and mix it up with your own. Make things your own. That's what makes games fun. You want a Stormwind champion, further buffs your chickens. Love that one. Now, personally, I would take maybe Ragnaros if you have it. This is kind of like for, your higher end cards at the end. We're getting towards the end here. We have 2 cards left, so I would probably take Ragnaros, since it's my legendary. And, probably a Nixie as well, since I have those 2 legendaries. But maybe take some high-end cards, or go back and get other cards that you want. Maybe like, a second Holy Nova, or another Silence, or another Dark Iron Dwarf would be good, or another Defender of Argus. So, for me, this is how to build a chicken deck, an angry chicken deck on Priest. So there's the mana curve. So very low end mana with lacking a little in the middle, but you have lots of 4 mana cards to kind of counterbalance that. So hope this tutorial was helpful for you guys. Have fun playing. Also, if you want to check out the deck in action, it will be right up there for you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.